Welcome to the Bot Squad podcast, everybody. I am your host, Jinder94, here with a podcast episode of the show. And before I get into the Raw review, I'm just going to talk about a few little news stories here. Some things that have been going on in the WWE over the past couple of days. Now, actually this morning, news broke that Adam Rose had been arrested following a battery domestic charge, and he's been put in jail with no bond. New details came out. Apparently, him and his wife got into an altercation, and they were yelling back and forth at each other. He grabbed her face and was screaming at her. She went to call the police, and he snatched the phone away from her so she wouldn't, be able to bring the police to their house. And apparently, that's a felony in the state of Florida. So not good for him, actually. He's already suspended for substance abuse. And now they suspended him indefinitely after finding out he's been arrested. His real name is Raymond Lapon. I guess they were having an argument over the marriage or whatever him and his wife are having problems with. But yeah, not good news for him. Speaking of things that have been happening, WWE released how many? About 6 to 7 people on Friday, I believe. Those names included Santino Marella, Cameron, Hornswoggle, Alex Riley, El Torito, and Zeb Coulter. And also, Wade Barrett left the company. He asked for his release early, and he is no longer with the company as well. Now, the one I'm surprised about is they also released Damian Sandow, and I just think that's just like a waste of talent. Like, they could have did so much with him and, let him progress even more. He was very charismatic. He was always charismatic. And even with the Mizdow gimmick, that was just great. He got over with the crowd and pretty much was the shining star of that whole gimmick they did. And it's just sad to see him go, man. He could have been world champion one day, in my opinion, with his charisma and with the way he connected with the crowd. It could have been great for him, but of course, WWE didn't want to give him a chance to be great, and they got rid of him. The next story is coming from Bleacher Report. I saw this a couple days ago. There was a conference call Vince had, talking about the first quarter earnings and stuff, and they made some pretty good chicken salad. That's a quote from him, out of the mass amount of injuries on their roster leading up to WrestleMania 32. He also said over the next 4 weeks, 4 and even more people will be coming back that have been injured, including Seth Rollins, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt. So I'm guessing over the next 4 Raws, one of each of these guys is going to be returning, which is great because, 6 to 9 months ago, WWE, it was just injury after injury after injury. It was just terrible. Every week, it was somebody getting injured, and now all of these stars are returning, and that's even, that's more great for WWE because, more stars equals more opportunities, more matches, more different matchups, and with all the NXT guys that have come up to the main roster and, all the current guys that are there and new people debuting, it's going to be great. It's going to be great to see all these people come back, and that'll be awesome for them. Now, John Cena's supposed to return Memorial Day. That's the only date that I know that is confirmed at the moment, I believe. I don't think they've talked about any more of when these people exactly are coming back. Some people could come as early as next Monday on Raw, but they haven't really given any details on the other guys or who else is returning. But they just know that, over the next couple of weeks, these guys will be returning back to Monday Night Raw, and it'll be sweet. I'm excited to see these guys return and, see the matches they put on. Now, let's get into this episode of Monday Night Raw. I had been busy Monday and Tuesday, so I didn't even get to watch Raw till like late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. So, let's get into it. Raw started right before anything happened. They announced the 6-man elimination tag match, Reigns and the Usos, the family versus the club, AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. Now, they did a match last week in the main event, a 6-man tag match, but now this week it's elimination, so it was a little differently. The odds could be swayed in anybody's favor at any time during the match. So, we'll talk about that match in a little bit, but Raw kicked off with Chris Jericho coming out, doing his highlight reel. He said his guest was supposed to be Dean Ambrose, but he's not here because of what happened last week. And if you didn't watch last week, Dean Ambrose got hit over the head with Mitch, the potted plant, who's more over than half the damn Raw roster. And he, according to Jericho, suffered severe trauma and he'll be gone for a while. So what Jericho did, the heelish move of the night, he had some of the remains of Mitch, the potted plant. And he was like, well, Mitch is worth more than Dean Ambrose is. I see why you guys connect with the plant more than you do with Ambrose. I could take this plant to the pawn shop, fix him up real quick and sell him for $12 and he'll be worth more than Dean Ambrose is worth to the WWE Universe. And, Jericho just getting that heat from the crowd, and the crowd was feeding into it, and it was just great. And then Big Cass comes out to interrupt Chris Jericho, talking about, the new era of people aren't just here to just show their face. They're actually here to make an impact, and they're not running from anybody at all. No matter how good you are, we will stand face to face with you and we'll go to war with them. And Cass was hot tonight. The crowd loved him. Even without Enzo, he's still great. He's so charismatic. And it's sad that Enzo's hurt and he'll be back in a couple weeks, but it's great to see that Cass can stand on his own, and he's actually pretty good on the mic as well. People didn't think he was that good on the mic, but Cass is great. He's hilarious. I love Big Cass. And, he was pretty much going back and forth with Jericho. And then Jericho goes for his normal stick, I'm the best in the world. And Cass stopped him, put the mic down from his hand, and was just like, I don't care if you're the best in the world at everything you do, but I'm 7 foot tall. And then the crowd, right on cue, and you can't teach that. That's how over these guys are. The crowd will finish their sentences for them. It was great. Jericho's just looking up at him like, really, dude? Like, who do you think you are? And then, Big Cass like, hey, man, we could fight right now if you got a problem. Jericho's like, oh, you want to fight? You want to fight? And then, typical heel move, he walks away and goes out the ring. And then, Cass is like, oh, you're going to run? Well, there's only one word to describe you, and I'm going to spell it out for you. S-A-W-F-T, soft. And it was great. The crowd was with him the whole time. Jericho got pissed, started running back to the ring, and got on the apron and caught a big boot to the jaw. It was... Woo, it looked like it hurt. It looked like it hurt. 7 foot tall man with at least size 15, 16 shoe right to the face. And it didn't look like Jericho protected himself well enough, so Big Cass got all of that. It was a great segment, though. I really enjoyed what they did here. Got Big Cass some time to shine and connect with the crowd even more. And when Enzo comes back, the crowd is going to go crazy because they already love Cass, they love Enzo, but once Enzo comes back, that crowd is going to explode. So that was a great segment. Jericho complaining backstage to Stephanie, saying, there's no respect in this new era and it's all Shane's fault. He's just letting them do whatever they want to do. He's the dumb McMahon, and Steph, you've always been the smart one. And she was like, yeah, it's been a little crazy around here, but I kind of like what Shane is doing. So she makes the main event Big Cass versus Jericho, and she tells him stop trying to drive a wedge between her and her brother, and don't ever do it again. Steph's been acting weird, man. She's taking on more of a heelish, not heelish, face-ish type of role. Like, she's been pretty much playing towards the faces and not really the heels as much as she used to in the Authority. It's kind of weird. I feel like they're setting up something, but for now, her and Shane are getting along just fine, I guess. So, the first match of the night, Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, this match, it was alright, but in the beginning, Corbin dropped a little vignette they show while he's, making his entrance, saying he's not a part of the new era. He doesn't give a damn about anybody, especially Dolph Ziggler. I like this because Baron Corbin is a certified badass. He don't care about no new era. He don't care about who he's facing. It's all about him and him getting his opportunities. And I like that. That's how Corbin was in NXT, and that's how he is on the main roster. I'm glad they're sticking with what he's all about. The match was alright. Seen it a couple times already. Nothing really too great. Ziggler got in some good offense on Corbin. But, of course, Corbin came away with the victory. Now, I thought his loss at Payback on the pre-show affected him. But, sometimes we get caught up in those win streaks. And then, when somebody loses, that's when it hurts. Because they've won so many matches straight. Like, look at Rusev. He didn't lose until John Cena. That was Rusev's first loss, I think. It was at WrestleMania against John Cena. And it kind of hurt Rusev a little bit. Not as much, but, John Cena's been known as the barrier. He ends people's careers. So, it's good that he got the loss out the way now, so they don't have to run with the undefeated gimmick. So that was cool. The match is alright. Of course, Corbin won at the end of days. It was an alright match. Nothing to complain about here. Shane backstage in his office, and Charlotte comes in, and they start kissing up to Shane, and they don't think it's fair that Rick is banned from ringside at Extreme Rules, and they're just kissing his ass, trying to get him to unban Flair from ringside at Extreme Rules. And Shane's like, no, I kind of agree with what Stephanie did here. I think Charlotte needs to stand on her 2 feet and face Natalya woman to woman and settle it there. Rick doesn't need to be involved. In fact, I like Stephanie's decision so much. Rick, you're banned from ringside tonight when Charlotte faces Paige. And Rick is just going crazy. He's like, not only am I banned at Extreme Rules, but I'm banned tonight too. Are you serious? And we'll see what happened later on in that match. JoJo backstage with the club is what they're calling it. They're going with that. And AJ kind of interrupts her question and talks about, last week what happened. He was like, I took the high road. I could have hit Roman Reigns with the chair. I had the power in my hands to do it, but I chose not to. And he obviously didn't see that. He didn't take the higher road, and he went off and put me through a table. So next time, I'm not going to hold back. I try to be the nice guy to him. I'll try to be respectful, but he obviously doesn't respect me, so I'm not going to respect him. And he's like, I'm going to beat him by myself at Extreme Rules. I don't need the club. But tonight, we're going to take out the family. So, nice little promo there. They're letting AJ talk. I like that. That's great. He didn't get interrupted in this promo either. So, cool. Next gimmick match was Fandango with Goldust. I'm guessing they're called Gold Dango. Versus R-Truth and Tyler Breeze. Fucking forgot whatever name they're called. I don't know. Gorgeous Truth or something stupid. I hate this, man. I thought it was funny last week, but they dead serious with this. R-Truth has like golden tips on his dreads because the whole Gorgeous Truth thing, whatever. He won with the lie detector. Nothing. This match went like 2-3 minutes. I didn't care. It was so dumb. It's so dumb. It's just like, yeah, okay, give the guys opportunities, but they're not doing anything. I understand everybody can't go for a championship, but man, do something entertaining. Dang, gosh, I remember mid-card rivalries used to be entertaining. Now they're just like, who cares? Really, who cares? They cut back to Shane and Steph's office. They're both there now. Owens, Miz, and Cesaro all complaining to them, saying, they deserve a shot. And Miz is like, nobody deserves a shot. So Steph makes it a triple threat match at Extreme Rules. Shane agrees with her. Miz says that's unfair because he can't be pinned and can still lose the title. And then Sami Zayn interrupts and says, yeah, you know what? That is unfair too. He walks in. It was like, I've been doing great over the past couple of weeks. I've had great matches. I think I deserve a title shot too. Shane was like, well, that's not exactly how it works. And Kevin Owens was like, yeah, didn't I beat you at Payback? Why are you even here? You don't deserve this. I destroyed you. And Shane was like, well, he's kind of right. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an opportunity. He was like, Sami Zayn was like, yes, that's all I want. I want an opportunity to earn my way into this match and make it a fatal 4-way. So it's going to be later on tonight, Sami Zayn versus The Miz. And if Sami Zayn beats The Miz, he's inserted into the triple threat match, making it a fatal 4-way match. Great stipulation. Shows, Sami Zayn's able to earn something. And, yeah, Miz complaining, everybody's complaining. They all tell him to get out now. Next match was Charlotte versus Paige. Natalya was on commentary, and she was firing shots right back at JBL, because JBL is very antagonistic, and he is just going to pry and try to get you to get mad at him. And everything he said, Natalya was just like that on him. She was sharp with her comebacks. It was just hilarious. It was enjoyable. And, of course, Ric Flair was banned from ringside. Now, when Charlotte came out by herself without Ric Flair by her side, it was great. Because, you know, she's the women's champion. She looks like a champion. She didn't need nobody by her side. She didn't need her dad there. It looked great. She looked great as the champion. She had the Flair robe. It was just very reminiscent of Ric Flair. And how he used to come out, you know, by himself with the World Heavyweight Championship, the nice robe. It was great. I enjoyed seeing her like that. She needs to continue to be like that without Rick. And, you know, she had a match with Paige. It was a little sloppy, in my opinion. You know, a lot of gimmick moves that weren't really executed cleanly. It was some good points, though. They had a nice little superplex off the top rope. But eventually, Natalya left commentary to distract Charlotte. Charlotte got distracted a little bit, but Paige went for the roll-up, didn't get it. And then Ric Flair comes out because he don't want Natalya involved in her match, even though he's banned from ringside. And, you know, he gets Natalya away from Charlotte or whatever. Charlotte's like, yeah, thank you, Dad. I appreciate you being out here. Sweet. And as soon as she does that, Shane McMahon, in typical fashion, runs out there like, nope, Rick, get your ass out of here. I told you was banned from ringside. He brings refs with him. Nope, get out of here. You gone. You gone. Come on, let's go. I told you, don't come out here, and you came out here anyway, so you're gone. Bye-bye. And Charlotte's like, yo, what are you doing? And Paige rolled her up for the victory. So not only did she lose the match, but she lost the match because her dad wouldn't stay away. She probably could have beat Paige on her own, but because Ric Flair wanted to get involved, it costed her the match. So now she's starting to see that, hey, maybe I don't need my dad around. Maybe he's more negative towards my matches than positive. So I like what they did here. It was pretty good. I like what they did. The next match is Sami Zayn versus The Miz. If Sami Zayn wins the match, of course, he's inserted into the Intercontinental Championship match at Extreme Rules. Sami was aggressive in this match because, you know, he was trying to earn his spot. I like the story they told here. You know, no matter what adversities he's put through, even in his defeats and, you know, coming up short all the time, he's going to fight. He's going to try to earn his way into every opportunity that he's presented with. And he's never going to give up. It's great. I love it because Sami Zayn has been putting on some excellent matches lately, and it's just great to see. And the Miz's heel work, I got to give him credit. He's a great heel. People may not like his wrestling or whatever, but getting reactions from the crowd to get him heat, Miz is excellent at that. And I got to give him credit. It was great. It was great to see that. Match went about 10 minutes, I think. But yeah, you know, all the obstacles Sami Zayn was presented with. The Miz tried cheating to get the victory. Sami Zayn was almost counted out. He got pushed out the ring and smacked the steel steps and was almost counted out. And you know, even with the distractions of Maurice, he still was able to hit the haluva kick and pin the Miz. So he pinned the Intercontinental Champion, and now he's inserted into the Fatal 4-Way match now at Extreme Rules. And that did two things. He pinned the champion and he earned his way into the match. So it makes him look like a viable contender for this match at Extreme Rules. So we'll see what happens with that. Renee Young backstage with Becky Lynch talking about her match she had with Emma last week. How Emma used Becky's old eye injury to poke her in the eye and get the victory over. And, you know, Becky was like, you know, next time I get in the ring with her, she's going to catch this last kicking. And, of course, Emma walks up and was like, you know, that match last week, you didn't lose because I poked you in the eye. You just lost because I'm better than you. And you don't need to be worried about your eye in the front. You need to be worried about having eyes in the back of your head. And right on cue, she gets attacked. And it's Dana Brooke from NXT. So Dana Brooke has debuted on the main roster now, and it's great because her and Emma in NXT were awesome. These two together, they other than facing Asuka, they put on great matches, and you know they were great by each other's sides. So I'm excited to see what they do with that on Raw now, and it was great to see that she came up to the main roster. So that was sweet. Now Zack Ryder's in Shane's office. It's like this whole night it was just like match segment. Shane and Steph were busy tonight, and it was good to see that. And he's talking about, he belongs here in WWE. He had his great WrestleMania moment. He feels like he should be in the Intercontinental title picture. Owens comes back into the office, and he's pissed that Sami Zayn pretty much was handed an opportunity, in Owens' words. And now he's in the match. And then he's like, Zach, why are you even here? Didn't you lose the title to Miz the next night? You held it for like one day. You don't even deserve to be here. He was like, yeah, but I technically beat you at WrestleMania for your title. He was like, one, you didn't beat me. Two, are you trying to pitch some type of internet show to Shane McMahon? Of course, referencing the show he used to have on YouTube, Z True Long Island Story, which I personally used to enjoy. Right before Zack Ryder became U.S. champion for the first time. He was like, yeah, Shane would like something like that, wouldn't he? And he was like, well, Sami Zayn shouldn't even be in this match. I beat him at Payback. He doesn't deserve it. And Zack was like, well, if we're going by that, I beat you, so I should have a chance. And Shane was like, okay, well, Zack, if you beat Owens tonight, you'll be inserted into the Fatal 4-Way match, and Owens will be taken out. So they had a match later on that night. And another backstage segment. It's like the 5th or 6th one tonight already. Reigns is backstage with the Usos in the locker room. They just chilling, talking. Tom Phillips comes up and asks him about the match. Reigns says it's about two things tonight: beating the club and representing the family bloodline. And he says they, meaning him and the Usos, will eliminate Anderson and Gallows, and then he himself will take out AJ Styles. So I like what he's doing here, and I like what AJ is doing. To take out the side men, he'll get his family to do it, and AJ will get the club to do it. But when it comes to them one-on-one, they want to face each other, and they don't want no interferences from either teams. So that was cool how they did that. They had Sin Cara versus Rusev next. Of course, Rusev dominated for pretty much the whole match, but Lana started to get involved and distracted the ref. And then Kalisto got on top of the apron. Rusev, ran over to him trying to hit him off and got kicked in the head. And Sin Cara rolled up Rusev for the win. Sin Cara beat Rusev. Let that sink in. Yeah. Yep. Just let it sink in. It's okay. It's alright. Just let that sink. Anyway, now that it was the 6-man elimination tag match, the club versus the family. It started off great, fast-paced action. Jey Uso got eliminated like right off the bat, pretty much, as normal elimination tag team matches go. He got hit by, I think it was Luke Gallows. He hit him with a big boot and rolled him up. So right off the bat, it's 3-2, and Roman Reigns is already at a disadvantage. Carl Anderson got in, tried to what happened? No. Yeah, Carl Anderson got in the ring, and he got rolled up by Jimmy Uso. And, he was boasting and bragging to him, like, hey, you hit me on the apron, you want to do that? And Jimmy rolled him up, got the pin, so now it's 2-on-2. And after that happened, then Jimmy was in there with Gallows, and then AJ had gotten the ring, and somehow during the break got hit with the phenomenal forearm after they came back from commercials, and he was eliminated. So it was a 1-on-2 match between Gallows and AJ versus Reigns. So they pretty much double teamed Reigns until Reigns got up and, got the advantage, and he hit the Superman punch on Luke Gallows and got the pin on him. So now it's just 1-on-1. The crowd started booing AJ a little bit and started cheering for Reigns. When these two were facing 1-on-1, the crowd got extremely hot, and they were in Omaha, Nebraska, of all places, and that crowd isn't really known for being loud and boisterous, but they were going crazy for this. These two started going after each other, and pretty much AJ got in the ring and started taking advantage of Reigns because he remembered what happened last week, so he was going to try to put him through the announce table. So they fought outside, and AJ took the things off the table, and then Reigns just manhandled him and just tossed him over the announce table, and they just started brawling, and then eventually the club came to save AJ and started beating down Reigns. And then, of course, the Usos came, and, all-out brawl just started happening. And they all get in the ring, and The club takes out the Usos. Reigns spears both Anderson and Gallows, gets them out the way, and then him and AJ start fighting for a little bit. And AJ looked like he was about to go for the phenomenal forearm. And Reigns had a chair in the ring, and they just had a stare off, and the crowd was chanting for both of them. You know, there was the AJ Styles chant, and it was the Roman Reigns just back and forth. The crowd was going nuts. And whoever says this Extreme Rules match isn't going to be great, they look at that crowd. That crowd was going crazy for both of them. They were invested in what was going on. They weren't just, oh, fuck Reigns, forget what he's doing. No, they were cheering for Reigns and AJ. It was great. I enjoyed that. That match was great to me, and the finish of what they did after the match was great to me. Pretty much Reigns picked up the chair and was like, here, AJ, you need this. I don't need it. Hit me with it. You want to hit me with the chair? Hit me with it. Come on. And then he stood back and was like, come on with it. AJ on the apron just looking at the chair. He kicked it back to Reigns like, no, you need it. You want to hit me with a chair? You hit me with a chair. And Reigns picked it up. AJ went for phenomenal forearm. Reigns ducked up under him. AJ rolled out the ring, and they just stared each other down. Crowd kind of booed because they wanted them to go at it, but I like what they did. They didn't just have them go at it again. They saving some more action for the weeks following up to Extreme Rules. I'm loving this rivalry. What they're doing here is awesome, and I'm enjoying it. It's great. So after that, they did Zack Ryder versus Kevin Owens. Nobody expected Zack to win. No point even talking about this match. Nobody expected Zack to win, and he didn't. Backstage, Renee Young is talking with Big Cass about the new era in his match with Jericho. He said it's the biggest match of his career, and he's dedicating it to Enzo. And after the match, he's going to be the only guy in the room or whatever. New Day come out, talk about their Extreme Rules match with the Vaudevillains and how they'll use the power of the Booty-O's to win the match. They said, the Vaudevillains don't appreciate a good booty. Oh, they did that a lot. And then they kind of made like a racial joke or whatever. They was like, they're from the bygone era where they don't respect people like us. And then Xavier was just like pulling out his collar like, ooh, that was kind of edgy. And then Big E was like, smartphone users. And, they went on, did their normal little gimmick. And then the Dudleys come out. They had a little match. Pretty much the Vaudevillains attacked New Day as expected. Dudley's capitalized, and Devon hit a mean clothesline on Kofi and picked up the victory for the Dudleys. So the Vaudevillains costed them that match. More build up towards the tag team championship match at Extreme Rules. Not much there. Now it was time for the main event. Chris Jericho versus Big Cass. During Jericho's entrance, after Big Cass came out, somebody attacked him and stole his jacket. They threw him into the, little light board that's right there by the entrance ramp. And they stole his jacket and got to the ring, and, it was still dark, but the jacket was still lit up. And the lights come back on, and it's Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose stole the jacket from Chris Jericho. And he proceeded to take the jacket apart and rip out all the electrical parts and cords, and Jericho was pissed. He ran to the ring, and Dean started beating him down, and Jericho eventually got out of the ring. And Big Cass was still there, so he thought he was just going to get away, and Big Cass got right up in his face like, what's up? Thought you was going somewhere? No. Jericho was like, get the hell out of my way, and then he slapped him. Big mistake. Big Cass yoked him up and was like, are you crazy? Threw him into the barricade, threw him back into the ring, and Dean Ambrose hit him with the dirty deeds, and that was all she wrote for Jericho. He then took out like a pair of scissors and started cutting up the jacket even more and stomping on the motherboard. So $15,000 jacket just destroyed by Dean Ambrose, and it was great. He got his revenge from Mitch the Plant being destroyed last week. And it was a great end to Raw. I like what they did here. Dean got his revenge on Jericho, and Jericho took away something that meant a lot to Dean. Dean took away something that meant a lot to Jericho. An eye for an eye, as Baron Corbin would say. But I enjoyed that. That was great. I love what they did there. Their match is going to be great at Extreme Rules. And Big Cass still got a good pop out of this. He got a nice little rub off of Jericho slapping him, and he, just yoking him up. He manhandled Chris Jericho. People don't manhandle Chris Jericho, but Cass is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. So it was just great to see him get a little bit of action, even though they didn't have the match per se. But yeah, I really enjoyed this Raw. This Raw was pretty good for me. I'm gonna give it a B-, actually. A few dumb things like that Truth and whatever Goldust thing that's gotten stupid. It had potential in the beginning, but now it's just dumb. But I really enjoyed what they did with this Raw. I like the stories they told, and the build up to Extreme Rules is getting better and better. You know, a lot of things are going on in WWE right now. We got stars returning. I haven't checked out WWE or Camp WWE yet, but it seems like it's pretty funny. I'm gonna actually check that out on the network. But yeah, you know, WWE released some talents. Talents are coming back. Adam Rose got arrested, and just a bunch going on right now. Things are getting a lot crazy in WWE, but that's all right. That is okay. It wouldn't be WWE if it wasn't crazy. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks with who's coming back, and I'll talk to you guys later on this week. Of course, you know I'm going to be covering news and stuff, so I'll see you guys later this week. Thank you guys for watching my video. Thank you guys for tuning in to this podcast episode, and I will see you guys on Monday, if not even sooner. All right, peace.